programme. But before that, a few years ago, you might remember, we introduced you to a chap called Rob Pope from Liverpool. He'd been dubbed the real-life Forrest Gump after running back and forth across America, covering 15,500 miles in almost 2 years. Well, Rob is just back, literally, from his latest challenge, which is called Highway to Help. There's a cue there. Clue, Ron, because he's doing it for a band. He ran 1,200 miles along the east coast of Australia following AC/DC. It was all for charity. Rob's here with his AC/DC shirt and his blow-up guitar. So the real-life Forrest Gump went down under. Why did you decide to do that?
Well, when I was running in America, music was a huge sort of inspiration. And AC/DC always seemed to come on just when I needed them. So I had a rule. Whenever they played, I couldn't stop. And we were actually in Australia around the time of the AC/DC tour this year. We decided to go to the concert. I just looked and saw they were playing in Brisbane, 1,973 kilometres away, 28 days later. And I thought, well, that's doable, that.
So you ran from Melbourne to Brisbane?
Yeah, via Sydney.
Right. And 1973 was when the band was formed. Were you a huge AC/DC fan before then?
Massively so, but sometimes there's a moment in your life where something happens and then that'll just resonate with you. And so DC are like that with me.
You raised money this time, lots of money, and you had their help. And those the inflatable guitar you're holding is part of that. Just explain what happened.
So on a forum, I said, has anybody got one of these inflatable guitars I can just carry with me and pose for photos with? I get an email from band management that just sort of says, we're going to get these, we're going to put them into production, we're going to sell them at shows, sign 100 of them, and all the profits from that, we're going to make sure go to your charities. And I got a little presentation ceremony. It just happened to be with the whole band.
Yeah, so we've got some pictures of you running. We've got pictures, we'll just play them. You've got pictures of you with the band as well. How tough was it this time? Because obviously with America, you were like Forrest Gump. You went back and forth across one side to the other and then again and again. This one must have been easier, wasn't it, or not?
It was more intense. So, like, sort of I had to cover more. I was doing like sort of 70 plus kilometres every day. It was 30 degrees, you know, complete direct sun. And in America, sort of, they might have rattlesnakes, but in Australia, brown snakes are everywhere and they're aggressive. And I got attacked by one.
Did you? And you were in the middle of nowhere at times. You in this picture, you're in a residential area. But did people think there's some nutter running with a baby in a pram?
There were, well, they call it 000, they're 999 in Australia. And I had a few times the police came and just said, there's no baby. And I was like, there's no baby. And they're like, it's because you're allowed to run on the motorway in Australia as well. So that was, so you're running down the road with a pram. And so obviously some people, it's a little bit unnerving for them, but, you know, no baby.
What next?
Recovering Christmas.
Back to being a vet.
Exactly.
That's the day job.
Yeah, exactly. You know, making a difference in a different way.
Brilliant. Well, wish you a very happy Christmas. Congrats. How much have you raised, do you know?
So we're currently on around sort of 20,000 Aussie dollars. By the time the guitars come in, we're hoping that's going to treble at least, you know. So donations are still open via the link in my Instagram. And so if people really want to contribute for the NSPCC and the World Wildlife Fund, so two great charities, especially this time of year, you know, sort of kids need the NSPCC and Childline more than ever at Christmas.
Wish you all the best. Rob, nice to see you. Thank you very much for coming in. Just off the plane yesterday from Down Under.